Okay, so we just have to find the capital F. Okay, so it's another function wherein if you take on the derivative of the capital F, you will go back with the integral na tinatawag natin. So to find for the antiderivative, all we have to do is to find for a function wherein if you take the derivative of that, babalik tayo sa hinahanapan natin ng antiderivative. So medyo circular yung definition natin kasi base siya dun sa pagkuha natin ng derivative last time, di ba? So kunwari, to, to kind of understand this, let's have this example. Okay, so when we talk about the slope of the tangent line to curve at any point, we are considering a function, for example, wherein we try to find for the original function of the slope. Diba, if you would remember our lesson in Calculus 1, when we talk about the slope of the tangent line, it is actually the derivative of the function, di ba? So dito naman, babalik ka rin natin. Given ka ng derivative, paano mo makukuha yung original function? Diba? So if you try to consider this, we can to identify the original function given the derivative, you need to somewhat perform what we call the antiderivative. So paano yun? Parang imagine niyo, what would be the original function given that the derivative is 2x. Diba? Ang ginagawa natin sa derivative is we subtract by 1 yung ating exponent and then we place the previous previous exponent as a factor, di ba? Naalala niyo pa ba yan? Guys, naalala niyo pa ba yan? Hello?
Yes, sir. Opo.
So pag nagkukuha tayo ng derivative, ibababa lang natin yung exponent tapos babawasan natin yung exponent ng 1. So if you consider this, kung ang ating y prime, if your y prime happens to be 2x, parang ang nangyari dito, ano yung y? Pababalikin natin. So kung ang ginawa natin, binaba, para makuha si y, itataas natin yung itong parang function ay ang mangyayari, ito binaba or from your, di ba itong exponent natin ay 1, ang ginawa natin sa exponent natin na, yan, na 1 ay nagbawas tayo ng isa. So para makuha yung original function, yung exponent natin, magdadagdag tayo ng isa, di ba? Tama ba?
Opo, sir.
Okay, and since ito, nag-multiply tayo nito, so i-divide na lang natin siya. So from there, mag-divide tayo ng 2. You follow? So notice, we can have actually here an x squared, di ba? As your y. Tama ba?
Opo,
Na,
sir.
kung babalikan natin, if you take on the derivative, pag pabalikin natin ganon, ang y prime will just be 2x. Tama? Tama ba yan?
Tama po, sir.
Okay. Now, the only problem here, guys, is what if there was a constant before? Diba? Pag may constant yan, ibig sabihin, kunwari ito, may plus, gawin natin itong plus 3. Ano yung magiging y prime? Ano yung magiging y prime natin? What would be the y prime if you have a plus 3 here? Ang y prime natin dito will still be 2x, right? Tama? Tama ba yan?
Opo, sir.
Okay, kasi when we take on the derivative of a constant, the derivative of the constant is?
0, sir.
Okay, 0. So, my point here is, kahit anong maging constant natin, ang magiging y prime natin will still be 2x. So, magiging kahit anong value ng constant. Tama ba? That's why if you have y prime, notice your y here must be equal to x squared plus a certain constant. Dahil hindi natin alam kung ano yung constant na yun. Basta alam natin na before we take on the derivative or after we take on the derivative, or nawawala kasi yung constant. So before we take on the derivative, there should be a constant before. We just don't know yet. So that's why we have to place a plus c here. Okay? Linaw po ba? Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng plus C dito.
Opo, sir.
Okay. So
Opo,
later
sir.
on, pagdating natin when we take on the derivative, lagi may plus C kasi yun ang rason. Kasi ang rason din is hindi natin alam kung ano yung constant bago siya i-derivative. Di ba? So we just assume that there was a constant. Pwede siyang zero, pwede siyang hindi zero, pero alam natin na meron siyang constant. Na hindi lang natin alam kung ano yung fixed na value. Okay? Is it clear? Question?
None po.
Okay, now. Ito na yung tinatawag natin, equation of family of curves. Okay, so when we take on the notice, ang ginagawa natin dito, we solve for y as a function of x. So this is now the function that we are considering. And then, dahil sa plus c na to, dahil hindi natin alam kung, rather hindi fixed yung constant, kaya tayo magkakaroon ng tinatawag na family of curves as your c changes. Okay? So let's have a clear space. So ito yung magiging equation ng family of curves natin. Okay, so this we will call it y equals x squared plus c. Okay, now, so if I consider graphing this, iisip lang ako ng mga values ng c. Kunwari, c equals 0, so ang aking y will be x squared. Or when c is 1, y here will be x squared plus 1. And then when c is, say, for example, negative 4, okay, y here will be x squared minus 4. And when I graph, and when I try to graph this, if you would remember your analytic geometry, okay, so hindi siya straight, okay, so itong una, when c is equal to 0, the vertex here will be at 0, 0, okay, so ito yung magiging equation, magiging graph niyan, so vertex at 0, 0, opening is correct. And so ito yung parang rough estimate ng y equals x squared, okay. When you try to graph this naman, when y equals x squared minus 1, ang magiging vertex naman natin dito will be at 0, 1. Okay? 0, 1, nasaan yan? 0, 1. So, kunwari ito yung 0, 1. So, ito naman yung magiging graph niya. Sorry. Okay. Imagine you have a parabola opening upward, vertex at 1 ay 0, 1. So naman, you can consider here that the vertex here will be at 0, 4. 0, negative 4. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ito yung vertex niya. Okay, so, ito naman yung parabola niya. Okay? So, kaya siya tinawag din na family of curves. If you would notice, di ba pag mga magkakapamilya, magkakamukha, di ba? So, literally, kasi tinawag na family of curves. Kasi magkakamukhang curve, nag-change lang sa with a constant value. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir.
Yung sa tanong, kanina, if you would notice, yung tanong, we just have to identify now, dito sa second bullet, we just have to identify the specific family of curve, member of the family of curve, wherein the curve passes through at 0, 1. Okay? So to do that, ang gagawin lang natin is we try to identify or substitute the point. So at the point t01, we substituted the general equation y equals x squared plus 1. So ang y natin ang x natin ay 0, y natin ay 1. So 0 yung I1, and then x natin ay 0. Okay? Okay? Sorry, plus c pala po. So mangyayari, notice that your c here will be equal to 1. So that specific family of curve that we are considering is this equation, y equals x squared plus 1. Ito rin yung hinahanap natin. Malinaw? Malinaw po ba yan? Another one,
Opo,
what if, for example, the curve passes through the point, say, negative 2, 3, for example. So, substitute na lang natin dun sa equation natin, y equals x squared plus c. So, y natin ay 3, x natin ay negative 2. Okay? So C here will be equal to what? So 3, and this will be 4. So 3 minus 4, this will be negative 1, right? So ang equation na hinahanap natin dito, when the curve passes through this point will be y equals x squared minus 1. Okay? Can you follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Okay na. So, when taking the integrals, hindi naman yung ginagawa natin kanina. Na nangyari is we iisipin natin kung anong before, di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag na rules on how to perform integrals. Ito yung mga yun. Okay, so the first one is, this one is actually not written in some of the books. Ginagawa ko to kasi lagi nakakalimutan yung integral ng 1. So the integral of 1 will just be x plus c. Take note guys ang dependent variable natin dito ay x. By the way guys, pag kinuha natin yung integral, laging meron tayong integral no, say f of x dx. Okay? Ang tawag natin dito sa loob ay ito yung integrand. Okay? Integrand with a d, nd. And then ito yung differential part. Okay? Bakit importante yun? Lalo na itong variable na to, importante yan. And then of course, this one is, I call this O, or we call it the integral sign. Okay? Malinaw? So, itong variable na to, importante yan later on. Kasi dapat kung ano ito yung nag-dictate kung ano yung independent variable natin. So, kung independent variable yan, ang mangyayari, lahat ng letters or hindi parehas sa letra na to na andito sa integrand will serve as a constant. Okay? So, continue with that later. Next. Ito naman, this is very similar to derivative if we have a constant multiple. Okay? If you have a constant multiple in your integrand, we can just sort of factor it out and then proceed with getting the integral of the remaining factor. Take note guys dapat constant ito dapat constant. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya parehas ng ating variable sa differential natin. Malinaw? Kapag variable siya, hindi mo siya basta-basta pwedeng ilabas. Malinaw?
Opo, sir.
Okay, next. Just like your derivatives also, if you take on the integral of a plus, minus, or some difference, pwede mo siyang kuhanin separately isa-isa. Kunin mo yung integral nitong una plus integral ng pangalawa. Okay? Ito yung ginawa natin rule number 4 dun sa una nating example kanina. That if you take on if you have a power formula or u to the n, take note guys yung ating base ay dapat parehas sa differential. Pag nag-iba to, hindi mo na to pwedeng magamit directly. So u to the n du, ang integral niyan is dun sa derivative nag-subtract, dito tayo nag-plus. Okay? And then instead of multiplication, ang ginawa natin dito is we take on the quotient or we place it in the denominator. And don't forget the plus c. Okay, note there is a note here guys that n should not be equal to negative 1. Bakit siya hindi pwede mag-negative 1 sa palagay niyo?
Mag-error, sir.
Bakit mag-error?
Magiging imaginary po yung baba.
Magiging imaginary yung baba. Tama ba yun? Or magiging, correct term dun would be, magiging 0 yung denominator. Tama? Okay? Magiging 0 kasi when n is negative 1, negative 1 plus 1 sa denominator natin guys will turn out to be 0. Tama? Ito. Okay? So pag nag-0 yan, of course, alam natin na we don't divide a number or anything by 0. If we do, there would be an undefined term. Okay, so there, notice that ito, restricted ito for any other exponent na hindi equal sa negative 1. In other words, kapag nag-negative 1 siya, hindi na to applicable yung exponent. Oh, sorry, hindi na applicable tong rule na to if the exponent turns out to be negative 1. Clear?
Sir, may tanong po ako, sir.
Sige.
Ano po ang difference nung undefined po sa indeterminate?
Okay, so we actually defined our differentiated that during our discussion in limits, di ba? Pag sinabi nating indeterminate, we cannot determine the value. Okay, ang undefined, there is no definition yet, or there is no definition. Okay? Ang pag tinawag natin kasing undefined, just like, for example, when we divide it by 0. Okay, when we divide by 0, it is not yet defined kasi walang specific value or walang specific number na magsasatisfy dun sa operation na yon. Pag sinabi nating indeterminate, pwede siyang merong value pero hindi lang fixed. Okay? Let me just show you that. Kunwari, pag meron akong 2 divided by 0, can this be a number, x, for example? Mangyayari dito, if this is a number x, mangyayari dito, if we perform multiplication both sides by 0, 2 will be equal to 0. Is that correct? Di ba hindi? So notice, hindi siya pwedeng maging isang value na x kasi hindi pwedeng maging 0 si 2. That's why, if we divide by 0, ang tawag natin dito ay undefined.
Undefined. Okay po, sir. Sige
Okay?
po,
Now,
thank you po.
if we have 0 over 0 naman, tanong, pwede ba siyang maging isang number na a? Okay, actually, it will be true. Kasi when we multiply both sides by 0, 0 will be equal to a times 0, which will turn out to be 0. So, itatawag siyang indeterminate. Indeterminate. Kasi we cannot determine the value. Kasi si A pwedeng maging equal sa 1, maging equal sa 2. Laging tama itong ating equation na to. Tama ba?
Okay po, sir. Thank you po. Opo.
Okay, any more question po? Okay. Now, so dahil hindi siya pwede sa negative 1, we have to have another rule for this. So when n is equal to negative 1, we have rule number 5. Okay, so the integral of u to the negative 1 or du over u is just ln of absolute value of u plus c. Okay, kanina in-emphasize natin na itong u na to at saka yung base ng ating exponent should be the same. Dapat parehas yan. Pag nag-iba yan, hindi nyo pwede itong gamitin. And then dahil may ln na rin tayo, isama na rin natin si e. Okay? Ito lang, di ba, yung derivative niya ay itself. So, ganun din. Ang integral niya ay itself din. Okay? Question? So, ito munang mga rules na to. We'll have other rules later on. Question about these 6 rules before we proceed, guys, before we have examples. Okay, so let's have examples. So let's have a very simple example first. So if you take on the integral of square root of x dx, wala naman sa rules natin, bakit may square root? But notice, we can rewrite this as an exponent. So we can write as an integral of x to the 1/2, right? dx. Tama?
Opo, sir.
Okay, now, ang n natin dito ay 1. So if n here is equal to 1, 1/2 rather. So pwede natin gamitin yung rule number 4, right? So we add by 1. So magiging 1/2 plus 1 will be 1. So this will be 3/2, right? Tama ba? So 2, 1 plus 2, right? Kaya magiging 3/2. Okay? So mangyari, the integral of this will turn out to be x to the 3/2 over 2 over 3/2. Sino yung nagmumura dyan? Sino yung... Hello? Kung may galit po kayo, pag-usapan po natin ng matino yan, ha?
Sir, yung ano kasi sir, pasensya na po. Yung tropa ko po dumaan, bigla po pinindot yung mic.
Okay. Sige, sige. Next time, sabihin mo sa kanila na hindi po ito biruan, ha?
Opo. Pasensya na po.
Okay, sige. Let's continue. When ba? Next, let's continue. So, is this clear, guys? So, notice from 1/2, nagdagdag tayo dito ng 1, kaya naging 3/2 yung exponent natin. And then, kung ano tong exponent na to, yun din ang ilalagay natin sa denominator. Okay? Malinaw? And of course, the plus.
Opo, sir.
Simplify na lang natin to. So, if we take on the reciprocal of a denominator, it will just be, parang babalik na rin ng natin. Kaya naging 2/3 yung ating 1/3 half.
So yung denominator po, hindi na po ipa-plus 1 yun.
Nag-plus 1 na yun kasi yung 1/2, nag-3/2. 1 na tayo to.
Sige po.
Okay, so kaya basically kung ano yung naging bagong exponent, yun na rin ang ilalagay nyo lang sa denominator. Okay? Question? Wala? More? Let's have this. So what if we have the integral of 1 minus 2x squared dx? Same thing. Wala na naman siyang nasa denominator, wala tayong ganun. Unlike guys, dun sa derivatives, iba may product at saka quotient rule tayo. Dito sa walang ganun. Pag may nakita kayong product at saka division, ibig sabihin, meron kayong gagawin muna para ma-integrate natin yun. Okay? In this case, just like 2 over x squared, pwede natin siyang itaas, di ba? When we place this sa taas, yung x squared, we just negate the exponent. Kaya naging ganito. Okay? And then notice, sabi dun sa rule number 4 natin, pwede ba siya when the exponent is negative 2?
Hindi po, sir.
Balikan natin ha. Si rule number 4, sabi, pwede siya provided yung ating exponent ay hindi negative 1. Pag negative 2 ba, hindi rin siya pwede?
Pwede po, sir.
Okay, pwede. Kasi di ba parang utos lang yan ng nanay natin. Pag sinabi ng nanay natin na hindi pwede itong isa, ay pwede yung iba. Charot. Baka,
Sige
baka
po,
kasi
sir.
pang nanay natin, pag sinabing hindi pwede ito, hindi na rin pwede yung iba. Dito sa rule na to, sinasabi lang na hindi pwede si negative 1. So, si negative 1 lang yun. So, kahit ano pang number na yan, basta hindi negative 1, pwede si rule number 4. Malinaw? So, dahil si exponent natin dito ay negative 2, pwede yung rule number 4 natin. So, negative 2 plus 1. Hindi nga. Anyone?
Negative 1 po.
Yun, very good. Negative 1. Akala ko negative 3. Okay, so notice, by the way, ito yung rule number 1 ha, integral of 1 dx. Kaya nagkaroon tayo dito ng x. And then, itong negative 2 na to, kinopya lang siya. Rule number 2 naman kapag constant multiple. Okay, ito yung rule number 4 natin na kapag meron tayong exponent, hindi negative 1, we just add by 1. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng negative 1 at yun na rin ang nilagay natin sa denominator. Kuha. Malinaw po ba?
Paulit po, sir.
Okay, ulitin natin.
Yung sa may x po, sir.
Sa may x. Sabi talaga yung x na yan, ang sakit sa no? Diba? Kahit dito, pinapahirapan tayo. Kasi mga x na yan, tinatanggal na. Next time, papalitan ko talaga yung mga variable ko dito. Now, yung 1, parang if you can rewrite this actually as the integral of dx minus integral of 2x to the negative 2 dx. Diba? Sa rule natin na kapag minus or plus, pwede natin isa-isahin. Itong integral of dx, kaya nagkaroon tayo dito ng x. Rule number 1 natin. Tapos minus, kaya may minus tayo dito. Itong minus na yan. And then yung 2, dahil constant lang yan, kukopyahin lang natin siya. Constant. Okay, and then, integral na ng x to the negative 2 using rule number 4. Diba, yung negative 2 natin na to, plus 1 tayo, kaya nagkaroon tayo dito ng negative 1. So, kung anong ito, yun din ang ilalagay din natin sa denominator. And of course, the plus c. Okay? Malinaw?
Opo.
Okay, so if we try to simplify this, ito negative na ito, itong negative na to, times negative 1, kaya magiging positive lang yan, di ba? And then itong negative ulit, ilagay lang natin sa baba. So, meron tayong ganito. Okay? Hmm? Sino po? May tanong. Wala. Okay, so let's continue. Ito naman. Paano naman kapag ganito? Sige nga, try nyo nga to. Anyone? So, paano to? So, meron tayong exponent na 2. So, parang mag-add lang tayo dito ng 1. Ito, parang ito ang, parang ang x natin, di ba? X to the 1 lang yan, di ba? So, mag-add ka rin ulit ng 1. Pag constant, parang may 1 lang yan. So, magiging x na lang. Diba? Got it? That's why we have this. Okay? Malinaw po? And then we just simplify again. So, itong 2 at saka na 2 na to, we can cancel this out or divide that. That's why we have this. Question? Hello?
Wala po, sir.
Okay. Pag ganito, okay, very similar to. So, pag may square root, di ba pag may square root index yan ay 2, kaya pwede natin siyang isulat like this, di ba? Okay? Yung radicals natin. Kapag meron tayong, di ba, kapag meron tayong uh, nth root, kunwari, nth root of x to the m, pwede natin siyang isulat as x to the m over n. Di ba? Kaya yung ating, kapag walang nakalagay, di ba, parang may 2 yan. Kaya magiging 3 over 2 yung ating exponent. Yan na tayong ganito. Okay? Naalala mo ba yung ating exponents or radicals? So with this, we can now perform integration. So again, 3 halves plus 1. Yung 3 halves plus 1. So if you add 3 halves plus 1,
5 over.
okay, so 3 plus 2, so which is 5 over 2. Okay? So again, negative 2 plus 1 magiging negative 1. So,
Negative 1.
okay? Malinaw po. Then we just simplify. So get the reciprocal of this first. Negative 1. Itong negative times negative 1. Kaya magiging positive. And then yung negative exponent, ilagay natin sa baba. Okay? Question? Wala. Okay. Malinaw po, ibig sabihin. Ano naman? Okay. Wala. Okay, so let's continue with this example. Okay. So notice, if we try to rewrite this, ang mangyayari dyan is just, sorry, dapat tayo sa compound. Okay, so notice, ang mangyayari, if we try to get the integral of this, constant lang ito, di ba? So, kukopyahin lang natin. And then e to the u du lang yan, so integral nito will be itself. Kasi ito, may 1 over x na tayo dito, di ba? So dahil yung ating x dito, ang exponent ay negative 1, ang magiging integral yan will be ln na lang siya. So this will be your Okay. Malinaw po ba? Hmm. So, malinaw?
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, next, last example for today. 9:30 na pala. So, we have the integral of 2 e to the x minus e cubed over 5 dx. So, notice, in this case, dahil constant lang ito actually. Constant lang ito, di ba? Saka constant. Pwede natin, ito lang ang magiging kukuhanan natin ng integral. Pero para hindi masalimuot, pwede natin hiwalayin siya. We can write it like this. Okay, notice, ito, constant ulit si 2 over 5, di ba? Constant lang yan. So, kukopyahin. Integral ni e to the x. Ano ulit ang integral ni e to the x?
E to the x po.
Okay, parang basically kukopyahin lang natin itong buong ito. And then minus e cube over 5. This one will be constant, di ba? Ang e cube ay constant, di ba? Yung 2.1 something something. Cube, this will of course turn out to be constant. So, dahil constant yan, over constant, constant pa rin ito. Dahil constant yan, kukopyahin lang natin ang integral niyan para may 1 dx lang tayo dito. So, ang integral niyan ay magkakaroon ng tayo ng x. Okay? Question? Okay, kung wala na. So, I think we'll end the lesson for today. Next meeting, we'll have substitution method or if you have any question with this. This time, guys, I will be uploading already your quiz number 1. So please be ready with your devices. And then this is for 1 hour only. So I will upload it now. Okay. I will upload it and then the due date is 9:23 na. So magiging 10:23. Okay. Or 10:30 na. Okay. So, okay, I have uploaded already, guys, the quiz in our G class. Okay. So, make sure you turn in the G classroom once you're done. Okay. Halina po. Hello. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, I will just end the recording now.